Hey, what is going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 3-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and I also make videos for NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. Link down below is called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on patreon.com, an esports package that includes Call of Duty and CSGO, as well as an NBA package, also linked down below. And I do want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode. If you're not familiar with PrizePicks, so they will post fantasy scores or fantasy projections, and you can take the over or the under on it. They also have single stat DFS, so this is right now for the second half stuff. Like Lillard is going off. This game is great to watch. Jokic also a really big game. But let's take a look at the ones they have posted for tomorrow. So let's see. Boston guys. Again, that was like a really outlier game. We'll talk about that, but like that game scored like almost 40 points under the total. Don't expect that to happen again. Let's see this. So they already have a ton posted, but you guys get the idea. Like you take over under on fantasy points. Like LeBron James 51. Do you like the under? Do you like the over? Let's see. Montrez at 19. That feels a little bit too high. That feels too high. I don't think he plays a ton in this game. So probably take the under there. Also, Cam Johnson at 20 feels a little high too. So I think I like the under on those two actually. But yeah, they have a ton of players posted already, and they also have a single stat. They'll post this probably more tomorrow, where you can take over under on like points, assists, rebounds, 3-pointers made. And it's a nice change of pace from DraftKings. You're not playing at center, you're playing at the house. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up. Use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link in the description below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get a free $100 to play with. And before I hop in the video, just got to thank you guys again for your continued support in the live streams, the videos, as well as on Twitter. Again, we're hitting like 300 concurrent viewers on the live streams. We're getting, 100, 150 likes in these videos. Again, that helps me out a ton. I hate asking for likes as it gets annoying after a while, but that does. Whenever you guys leave a like button on the video, it really does, help me out because it allows the video to get to more viewers. So again, if you guys do enjoy all this content, if you could hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't live. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. I'll try to answer everyone's questions. And let's try to aim for 150 likes on this one. All right, so before we talk about players and the prices for the 3-game slate, we can look back lineup here from Monday. Did not predict that random blowout. Right now looking decent. We'll see how it finishes, though. I'll get out of the way so you guys can see. So, last few days of DFS, you just fade the best plays. You make all the money. Yeah, with yesterday's weird slate and today, again, Jimmy Butler, I was not fading him, and he was an absolute bust. He was, this is in a $66 tournament, currently 3xing my money. He was 71%. I'm guessing as you go higher, like I want to see, I'm going to check out Fantasy Labs contest dashboard tomorrow to see what is in like the $2,000 tournament or whatever that is. I bet he's close to 100% owned in that one. I'm really curious to see what he is in the higher stakes, and the people playing tens of thousands of dollars. I want to see what the ownership was in Jimmy Butler, but crazy again. I didn't expect that. Most of the field did not expect that either. Got to take the L on that. I did not see the Bucks coming. I mean, I did pick the Bucks to win it all, so I'm happy about that. But did not see the game blowing out. So, and Jimmy just looked, that was super front. I was getting really mad because Jimmy was just being really passive on the offensive end. If you guys watched that game, like that was not the Jimmy Butler I know in the playoffs. So I'm guessing he's going to come out a lot more aggressive in game 3, but just super tilted about that because I thought he was a clear play today and he's just a massive bust. Dragic, blowout hurt him a little bit, still got value. Austin Rivers, sure enough, 3 fouls for him. Why not? Again, always foul trouble. Never a slate that I have to deal or don't deal with that foul trouble. A low-owned Giannis Antetokounmpo on pace for probably 80, 85. Blowout. Barely played the fourth quarter. And that's going to be huge because we have Jokic, we have Lillard are both smashing. Unless they really cool off, that's going to hurt, right? I need those minutes. So that hurts. Also, I'm very tilted. Literally super low on Bobby Portis. they don't give him any garbage time run. They pulled him with like 7 minutes left. I was so excited to get low-owned Bobby Portis garbage run. Nope. Just end of the bench, get like Jordan Nwora in there. Oh, that tilts me so much. And then I hinted at using both. I told everyone on Patreon that I was doing both the value guards here for Denver and Monte Morris and Austin Rivers. Two of my favorite value plays of the slate. Rivers was the chalk. Morris pretty low-owned. Morris at 17 at half. Rivers going to deal with foul trouble. That's unfortunate. Still about 10.5 on pace for value. MPJ, just a subpar half, it's just the Jokic show right now. But he was 80% in this. And then Nurkic, 62% at 17.5. So crazy one. And there's, again, just like last slate, a ton of landmines. Like in the higher dollar stuff like this one, Robert Covington, close to 50% owned. I think he has one fancy point and a half. Obviously, the value plays in the early game, most of them busted because of the blowout. Guys like Brolo, Ariza, basically everyone because of the massive blowout. So weird one, right? There's been a lot of variance involved in these last couple of slates. We'll see how I finish. I'm curious because I did only have Jimmy that busted. Everything else looking solid right now, but Jokic is about 30%. Lillard pretty low on this, only about 20%. So I'm curious to see if this is going to hold. I don't think it's going to hold, but curious to see if I end up cashing. Again, I think Monte Morris low owned is pretty big right now for me with 17.5. And that's it for the look back, guys. Hope you had a good night. Hope you avoided some of these landmines. I hope you avoided Jimmy Butler. I hope you just faded my advice and avoided Jimmy Butler. If you did, you're probably winning all the money. But all right, let's talk about this 3-game slate. So Celtics and Knicks, again, a 227 over under. That game finished under 200 total. Again, so weird. I don't expect that again. Nets 9.5 point favorites. What you do have to worry about here is potential for a blowout. That's the game that has the most blowout risk. Lakers and Suns at 208 over under. Lakers 2-point favorites. And Mavs, Clippers 216 over under. Clippers 6-point favorites. So we'll start off with the early game in Boston and Brooklyn. So Boston, guys, tilted me to no one last game. Tatum, awful shooting game. Kemba, foul trouble, plus awful shooting game. I think that's going to lower the ownership on both. And that last game was an outlier. Like, they kept it close, and Tatum and Kemba both didn't get there. I don't see that happening again. If this game stays competitive, it's got to be Tatum and Kemba, and this game's not going to score under 200 points, most likely. You never know with the way NBA has been going the last couple of days, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, Jason Tatum, I think it actually is one of the better spend-ups. The only thing you have to worry about is potential for foul trouble. But like I said, if they're going to keep this game close, it's him and Kemba, even though they both had bad games last game. So I like Tatum at the top, and I'm fine going right back to the wall on Kemba. You have to have short-term memory for DFS. I know he absolutely killed me. I was a few points away from cashing that last slate. Tilted about it for sure, but look at the previous games, right? And he's the guy that can go for 50. He's going to be the number 2. He's going to get a ton of shot attempts up, and it's a great matchup. So, and we're not going to most likely get early foul trouble again from Kemba, where he only played 9 first half minutes. So I really like going back to Kemba. I think that the ownership will drop up to recency bias, but I still think he's a solid play. The only thing you have to worry about with these Boston guys is potential for a blowout. So that's, I think, where you fade. If you're going to avoid all Boston, I think you need the blowout. Fournier, Smart. Again, they both played big minutes and both were a little bit underwhelming, but that game was just so low scoring. I don't see that happening again, so I think both are fair plays in the mid-range in Smart and Fournier. Thompson and Robert Williams should split the ton of minutes. Now, Robert Williams is the guy that's the most upside. Can we talk about that? He literally averaged like a block every 2 minutes. 9 blocks in 23 minutes. Now, I do think that's going to boost the ownership in Robert Williams, but I still think he's one of the better value plays of the slate because he's a good point per minute guy. So, yes, he's going to be popular, but I like him a good amount. The only thing you have to worry about with Robert Williams is potential for aggravating that injury, right? 2 games ago, he re-aggravated it and left that game and did not return. So, that's the only risk with a guy like Robert Williams. The bench guys, I'm not touching. I mean, Jabari Parker, do I trust him getting the rotation again? He did play 22 minutes. I think you can take a shot at him. He is a good point per minute guy. He didn't, I don't know. He's been in and out of this rotation. This is a tough one. I guess they do need the scoring. I'm a little bit undecided what I want to do with Jabari Parker because he is a good scorer, is a good point per minute guy, but will we get 20 minutes again from him? I don't know. So tricky one there. I guess, yeah, Parker's for sure the guy who would take the shot on off the bench for Boston. Moving on to Brooklyn. So the big 3, Harden, Durant, Irving. Again, the issue is when all 3 are out there, they kind of cap each other's upside. So Harden went for 53 last game. Kevin Durant went for over 50. And Kyrie went for 40. I think Kevin Durant probably has the highest floor. He's at 9.3. I think he's probably the one that looks the best to me of the big three for Brooklyn. I don't think any are must, but I think Kevin Durant probably the safest of the big three. All three are viable, and it's just a little bit hard to try to nail down which one's going to be. Now, Joe Harris played 37 minutes. He only went for 14 fantasy points. Again, he is, get the Spider-Man Jeff Duncan Robinson, right? The exact same player. So he's for sure in play. He's just got to hit his threes. He's going to have open looks. I don't know if he's going to knock him down or not. So it's up to you, right? It's more of a GPP play because he's so reliant on the scoring. Now, what I am surprised about was the Nets went small. I didn't think they were going to do that against a traditional big with Boston with Thompson and Robert Williams, but they did. Blake Griffin, only 20 minutes, and Claxton barely played. So not a good sign for either of those two bigs. I still think Blake Griffin is fine, but not something I love. Bruce Brown, also the Mets went way down on him, only 18. Not super sad about that. Now, Jeff Green's the guy that got extended. He played small ball 5. So if they're going to continue to do that, then I actually think Green is a decent value here at 3.6K. If he's going to play a good amount of the small ball 5. Again, Claxton only played 11 minutes. So, I mean, maybe things change. Maybe he goes back to 20 plus. If I knew Claxton was going to play 20 to 25 minutes, I would play him here. Again, last game, though, only 11. Wasn't in foul trouble. They just went small. So I didn't think that would happen. It did. So Claxton and Blake Griffin are a lot riskier. Jeff Green's probably the guy you feel the best about off the bench there at 3.6. All right, Lakers and Suns. So Lakers, they need to win this game. Did not look good the last game. LeBron James at 10.1K, I think is a safe spend up. Played 36 minutes, went for 48 fantasy points. He should play 35 plus, even though, again, the match was not necessarily the best. This is LeBron James. So if you have the salary, I think he's a very safe play. AD, on the other hand, I think he's going to bounce back here, but just depends. You know, his upside is kind of capped when he plays strictly at the 4, right? They played a lot of Drummond. They played some Montrezl Harrell. Again, this Lakers team, they need to figure out, or they need to realize that their best chance is when AD plays the 5. That's when they are the best. Their best lineup is LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Caruso, KCP, and Schroeder. That is their best lineup. That's the lineup they should be closing with. They have been closing the last couple games, so they should run that out more. They should get away from guys like Drummond and Harrell. They don't really help them win right now. So that's just basketball standpoint, not DFS. But yeah, back to Davis. More contrarian. Again, had an awful game last game. It just depends how the Lakers are going to play. If they're going to continue giving Drummond like 20-ish minutes and Harrell like 10 to 15 off the bench, then that kind of hurts AD's upside. Schroeder, I actually think it's a safer play at 5.6. He should play 30 to 35 minutes. Doesn't have a super high ceiling, but if you landed him last piece in, doable. Kuzma, no thanks. KCP at 4.4. Again, minutes will be there. Just has to hit his threes. He did not hit his threes last game. He went for under 20. So that's the risk of KCP. If he hits his threes, he can go for 25 plus. Caruso also should play about 25 to 30 minutes. He had a bad game last game, but Caruso, KCP are fine values. Neither really stand out. And Harrell did play the backup 5 over Gasol. He played 15 minutes. We know he's a good point per minute guy. Will they go back to him here? I still think there's a chance maybe he gets a DNP. So Harrell more of a high risk, high reward value play there. Now moving on to Phoenix. So I am honestly shocked that Chris Paul's not on the injury report. Shocked. If you guys watched that game, I watched the whole game. He got the shoulder injury, did not look good, and when he came back, he was not himself at all. He was just out there as a decoy. He could barely dribble with his right hand. He couldn't shoot. I mean, again, I'm really shocked to see this. So I'm going to stay away from Chris Paul. If I knew he was fully healthy, again, I would like him here, like I did last slate, but I just can't do it. So Booker at 8.1K, he had a massive game when Chris Paul went down. I don't trust the health right now of Chris Paul, so I definitely prefer Booker to Chris Paul here. And then DeAndre Ayton, I like a good amount. I mentioned that I think his minutes might go up. They did. He played 37 instead of like the 30-ish minutes he was playing in the regular season. So if he's going to continue to play 35-plus minutes, then the 6.1K price is too cheap. I don't expect 21 and 16 again, but again, it's a minutes thing for DeAndre Ayton. So I actually do like DeAndre Ayton a good amount there in the mid-range. Mikal Bridges, I'll pass on. Payne, no thanks. Jay Crowder, once again, I like for value. I should play about 30 minutes just because, again, in these playoff slates, there's not a ton of great value. Not that Crowder's a ton of upside, but once again, I expect him to be popular. He was like 80% in the higher dollar stuff last slate. I like him again here just because there's just not a ton of smash value. Now, Cam Johnson's at 3.6. He would probably be the one guy who would take a shot on off the bench. I think we get around 20 minutes. Decent offensive player. So Cam Johnson off the bench. Sarge actually will play the backup 5. He played the backup 5 over Kaminsky. I think you only roll the dice on him if you think Ayton gets in some foul trouble. All right, last game, Dallas and the LA Clippers. So Luka Doncic had the massive game last game. Massive. At no ownership. 71 fantasy points, triple-double in a tough matchup. It just I love Luka, but I could not get him right this regular season. Every time I played him, he had the floor game, and then his first game in the playoffs, he goes absolutely off. I think he might be slightly over-owned here. I'm not saying to fade Luka Doncic. I still like his upside. I just don't think we'll get 70 again from Luka, so I guess that's the issue. Again, I still think he's firmly in play. Just I think he might be slightly over-owned. Porzingis had an absolutely awful game last game. 22 fantasy points in 36 minutes. That's going to really lower the ownership. I think if people are going to go to a star here, they're going to go to Luka. I don't hate using Porzingis as a contrarian play, though, below 8K. He's still a guy that can go for 40, 50 plus. So not really a cash game play with Porzingis with the way he's playing right now. But again, don't hate it make your lineup different. Hardaway too pricey. Dorian Finney-Smith, I'll pass. Jalen Brunson at 4-3. I think we get about 20 minutes from him off the bench. He's a decent point per guy, so I actually think he's a solid value. I would prefer him to Josh Richardson, both coming out the bench. Would rather get to Brunson. Now Maxi Kleber at 3-4. He played 36 minutes. 36 minutes. We know Maxi Kleber is not a good point per guy, but if he's going to play 36 minutes, then he's a good value. I like him a lot. So keep an eye on this. He's currently questionable. I think he'll be good to go. Again, he's banged up going into this game, so I just think this is more precautionary that they're listing him as questionable. So, assuming Kleber starts, I think we get normal run as long as he doesn't aggravate that injury. With that being said, he is one of the better value plays. I know he's not a good point per guy, but if we get anywhere near 36 minutes at 3-4, sign me up for that. So it's not something I feel great about, but I do like Maxi Kleber. And then Powell was basically out of the rotation. He played 7 minutes. Both teams went small. I do want to bring that up. Both teams went small. Zubac and Ibaka both got limited. Again, like the traditional, Powell barely played. Both teams want more small ball, so I would not get to Powell. We'll talk about Ibaka and Zubac too. Both pretty risky. Now, Kawhi Leonard at 8.3K, once again, is one of my favorite plays. The price barely moved. This is too cheap for Kawhi in the playoffs. He's going to play 40 minutes. I absolutely love Kawhi Leonard. But with how the NBA has gone the last couple of days, Kawhi Leonard is going to shoot 4 of 20. So that's probably going to happen. But I really, really do like Kawhi Leonard at that price. Paul George, right? Playoff Paul George has not been great. Now, he didn't play good and still went for 40, right? So it's like he had an off game and still put up 40 fantasy points. I still like Paul George too. You can make the argument to play them both. I think it's slightly suboptimal, but I think if I'm building a lineup, I want to get to one of these two guys. Slight edge to Kawhi Leonard over Paul George. Marcus Morris at 5-1. She'll play over 30 minutes, but don't think it's necessary on the slate. Again, Ibaka, great point per guy. Only played 13 minutes. So that makes him pretty risky here. If I knew he's going to play 20 to 22 minutes, I would really like him here. But only 13 makes him high risk, high reward. Again, Zubac only played 19 minutes. Both teams went small. So those two become risky. Rondo at 4-5. Again, he is the guy I prefer of the point guards because he is the best point per minute guy. And I think we get somewhere around 25 minutes for him. So Rondo, fair value off the bench. Reggie Jackson, not as much. He did play 21 minutes. Would rather get to Rondo for a little bit more. And then, Pat Beverly's going to start. He should get somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, you can play him. It's not something I'm really going out of my way to play. The thing I do want to mention here, though, is Nick Batum played 32 minutes. The reason he did, because both teams went small. So if both teams continue to play small ball, then I actually like Batum a good amount. Again, same thing I'll kind of say about Maxi Kleber. Are you getting excited about playing Nick Batum? No. But if we get similar run, like 30-plus minutes, then I think he's a really good value play. So, guys like Kleber, guys like Batum, I think could open up a lot for you on the slate to get those stars into your lineup if we see similar run. Now, again, there's I guess, a little bit of risk of both, right? Kleber, maybe reaggravates the injury. Batum, maybe they go back to a bigger lineup instead of small ball. Again, it's no guarantee both teams go small ball again, but it is good to see he played over 30 minutes. So I do like Batum a good amount here for value. And that is going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Again, live stream tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. And let's hope for some good variance. And let's hope that that we don't get any random blowouts, we don't get foul trouble, and we don't get players shooting like 10% from the field. That would be nice. So thanks again, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.